Okay, y'all, I just wanted to show you some more things I had to go through with the stalker. Remember when I said that they returned my laptop, they also smashed my camera, which is really sad because they keep breaking my camera. I don't know what's wrong with them. First they cracked the screen, but it still worked, and it wasn't the lens, so it was fine. And then they tried to break the door that opens for the battery, and then they smashed the screen entirely. So let me show you the camera I'm talking about. This is one of the videos that shows the camera. Okay, so this is the camera. You can tell that even in the infrared mode, it still very clearly shows a person kneeling at the foot of my bed, right? Which is pretty scary, y'all. And it's nighttime, so black is white and white is black. And this is the camera. Now, it costs about $80, and it's the nicest camera I've ever had. And you can find 100 of them. And this has nothing to do with the police. These guys are always trying to say that they're the police. Please don't believe them. Okay, they don't act like police officers. They have nothing to do with the police. They're just horrible people. Because I haven't committed any crimes, and they harass me every single day, all day long. So they smashed the screen of the camera both by stomping on it and by pushing something into the center of it, so it made a starburst pattern across the screen. So I have to get another one. I have to declare on my taxes, though, because I did use it for almost the whole year last year, but still, it's really frustrating to have to do this. It's just, I don't even understand what's wrong with these people. Because, I mean, they don't need to have little... This is the woman from the office, actually, but they don't have to have anybody going through my stuff on a regular basis. That's just crazy. So, I wanted to show you something else I haven't talked to you about, but every day I get out of this thing, I make a little video about it. So, oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, photos. Alright, so every day the stalker goes past my window 3 times a day. I think he's sort of moved up to my floor, y'all, which is really upsetting. This guy is what he looks like in silhouette with his boob suit on. But you can watch that video. It's really interesting. But then if you go down here, I decided not to film him anymore doing these things. This is not quite what he looks like. He looks more like Enrique Iglesias. I mean, not Enrique Iglesias. Gabriel Iglesias. He looks very like Gabriel Iglesias in person. Not this guy. This is a scary stalker guy that I hope has moved on and may be the guy that did the keys for the apartment, which is really upsetting. So, here, though, if you watch, he walks past right at the beginning of this video. There, that's him. Her, sorry. Okay, so fairly strong person. See the arms? The bicep part of the arms? Fairly, he always wears lots of layers. Very textile, very fluffy, fuzzy, like many, I don't know how to explain it, like very textile-y, like very textured, mixed textures, very, it looks like he spends some money on his clothes, but on her clothes, sorry. But he, now he has longer hair like mine, and he goes by just like this every morning at like 7:30 in the morning, and he looks in to see if I'm in here and if my apartment's changed at all. And he goes by at 11:30 and 1:30, so lunchtime. And he goes by at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he goes by at 9 o'clock at night. And there are 2 staircases in my apartment building. And the apartment that he's going to is kind of equidistant from both. In other words, he could walk farther on the first floor and less on the second floor. Or he could walk more on the less on this first floor and more on the second floor. It's the same distance either way because the other apartment's in the middle. So he's choosing to go past my apartment when he has the option of going the other staircase and walking more on the first floor and less on the second floor. Does that make sense? I can draw it for you real quick. My sweet doll. I love my doll. Turn into the other video to see the story about this doll. Okay, because Katie knows what's true about Katie and she doesn't really care what anybody else says about it. So now here, if you look here, here's the apartments, right? So there's here and here. And there's a little balcony here and a sidewalk here. Right? And on either side, there's a staircase. And here, there's a staircase. And I live here. And he lives here. And he also lives kind of in the middle here. On either end of these apartments, there's a studio, right? Like mine. And in the middle, there's one bedroom apartment. So he lives in kind of a one bedroom apartment that direction, right? So he comes out of his apartment. Let me make it different colors. So I have to do it again. It's really frustrating. And I don't want to have to get a restraining order against this guy. I don't know what the heck's his problem. Because he's the relative of a guy that used to live next door to me. And also my niece that I like very much. And it just really upsets me. So if you come out this way and go up this way, right, he passes this way and he goes in here. Now, that's the red way. He could just as easily come out this way and go this way and go up here and go this way. And well, let's call it 2. They're the same. Right? Math tells us that they're basically the same. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, here's my window. Right? He has to be seen in my window walking at 7:30. Because evidently they're like Susie and Sally now. And Susie just loves Sally, and Sally just loves Susie, and they can't live without each other. So 7:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m., 1:30 p.m., just now, in other words, and about 5:30 p.m., and about 10 o'clock p.m. This guy is seen in my window looking in to try to see what's going on and if I'm still where I am, because I'm usually in his direct line of sight because I work really hard, and if I'm not, he stops and he looks to find out where I am because I'm usually at my desk or at the sink or in the restroom or wherever. And I would prefer that he takes 2, and he would prefer that he takes 1. And he also parks right here, which is fine because he has to park by his apartment, but it puts him in my direct line of sight if I'm by my window. But it doesn't really if I'm not. He just looks up at my apartment, because from my apartment, let's see. The interesting thing, the girl T and I checked this because we wanted to know. She liked to keep her windows open too, and we wanted to know what we could see, from where. So we checked each other from Walgreens. Okay, so here. If you look at our street, it goes like this, right? like that. And here is a drugstore, and here is a barbershop. Here's a big street. Here's a car wash that wasn't there then, and a fire station, and our apartment, right? My apartment. So home, whoops. So home to Kate. Right now. So T and I, we are ladies that like to have company and everything, and we wanted to see what people could see from the street. And so we checked it. She would walk over here and over here and over here, and she would look. And it turns out, and I did the same, and because I would be walking home from work this direction, I'd walk home from work this direction, and I would check my apartment, because in my apartment I always have colored bulbs, and one of the bulbs I have, let's put that camera on. I'm afraid someone else is going to try to say it's their voiceover, like that's even possible. But one of the bulbs I used to have was like a firelight color bulb. It was kind of like a rich red color. And I put it up there, and I had a pillowcase that was oranges, peaches, and I put it over it. So, and I left it on all the time, whether I was home or not, like my blue bulb today. And I put it way over there. It was like, I mean, you could see it from miles, right? You could see it from the drugstore. And we wanted to check and see if that was true. And so we checked each other. And she's like, yes, I can see your light. And I was like, yes, I can see the top part of your apartment. So let me show you what that looks like. It's really funny. There's a point to this, I promise you. It may not be a great point, but it's a point. So if you're in the parking lot, and there's a wall here, and here's the sidewalks. Now you can see straight into his apartment. I mean, the first floor apartments, they're just sort of out there. But if you look up here, okay, so if you look up here, there's a door, right, and a window. And through the window, from where he parks, looking up, you can see probably about a quarter of the way in the apartment. But just the ceiling is the thing. You can see almost all the way to the ceiling fan, basically. But you can tell if the light's on, and you can tell if I'm exercising, I guess. But that's fine. That's my choice of where to exercise, right? And other things. But you can kind of get a good feel. Her apartment was right here, and you could see that she had some decorations on her wall from the street, and you could see her ceiling fan, but you couldn't quite see anything else. You could tell if she was home. You could see almost all the way, like you could see the ceiling pretty much all the way back to the apartment. So it was very interesting to check and see. But in my apartment, you can't really, because it's sort of a narrow box. Hers is more of a one bedroom, so it's a little bit bigger, and you can see a little bit more just because of that. But it was very interesting, y'all. But I've noticed that the first thing he does when he comes home is his eyes. Because remember, he's got his friend over here, right? And I'm hardly ever looking out my window when anybody comes home anymore because I'm so used to living here. But his eyes go up to my apartment, which is kind of creepy. I have video of him looking up at my apartment when he's walking to his apartment this way. And he's dead on my apartment. It's not anybody else's apartment he's looking at. Even though his friend lives over here. And now he's befriended them. And these are the guys with the workstations. They have the workstations, that go like this. And computers and stuff on them. And they're my main stalkers. They're one of my main stalkers as far as like editing the videos go. There aren't the guy that has myasthenia gravis and everything. He lives this way. So It's very odd. And I don't know what to think about it. So now everything's rearranged. And we know that C has moved. But we're still not positive that he doesn't sleep here on the floor of somebody. We know that he moved about a 2-minute walk away. We know that I was charged the equal amount for his rent. Okay, so he seems to be sort of done, kind of. But he's so obsessed with me. He's been obsessed with me for over 20 years, since 2000. So I doubt he's going to go away. But I'm willing to believe that maybe he will try to go away. Hopefully he won't start up with somebody else. Then you have the myasthenia gravis guy. And he has the little accessibility thing that pops up on my computer. And he may be C also. He has come to my door. Has eaten my food. Stolen from my DoorDash. Uses voice commands, again here, to interact. Can delete elements of a web page. Okay, so we know he's there. It's very, very difficult to know. We know that at least 2 subscribed for 4 months to my channel. We know that, and I'm very grateful to people for showing me that, because I did not know. And we know that a few of them were white supremacists, which I didn't know what that meant either. Funny. Okay, although what I thought it meant isn't any better. But anyway, I thought that I didn't know what that meant. I thought it meant wayward spouse. Okay, so it's like wayward spouse or water sports, which is what I first knew it as, of course, growing up. So water sports, wayward spouse, but it can also mean white supremacist. I did not know that. But anyway, so it was very sweet of them to show me which ones were the dangerous ones. And there's probably more of my stalkers. I have 9 subscribers, and they're all welcome. 9 subscribers, and I can't see them. So that's probably malware. And I'll have to check. But anyway, Okay. So then there's this guy. And he wears, let's see, when he first got here, okay, so when he first got here, it's so funny, y'all. Oh my gosh. But when he first got here, he stole my clothes. And it's really sad because I have this freakish body. And I think I might have put this on the other video, so if I did, just fast forward it. But my brother's 6'6". Okay, my mom is 5'9". My dad's 6'1". I was supposed to be tall. And I have legs that are between 40 and 44 inches long, depending on where you measure. And the rest of me just kind of got squished, I guess. So I have a big head, well, I mean a fairly big head, so funny. But I have a fairly big head, and I have long legs, and the rest of me is very short. There's about 18 inches between my shoulder and my waist. Okay, well, there's about a foot between my shoulder and my waist. It's not big at all. And I have a chest and everything. I'm just a very odd shape. So, and I have long feet, like I would have had if I had been over or 6 feet taller around. So I have size 9 to 9.5 square feet. Sometimes I can wear 8.5, but it's rare. Usually 9. And they're long feet and skinny. They used to be double A narrow, but they're not anymore. They're just sort of normal size. And guys love to steal my shoes. And I've had this happen to me a lot. Giving stink eye to people. They know who they are. But I've had this happen to me a lot. My daughter also has the same size feet. One of my daughters, the other one has cute little size 8 feet. But my daughter and I, we have long, narrow toes and long, narrow feet. And it's really funny. So my clothes are always kind of odd because I have to wear, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard for me to find pants that go to my feet. And it's hard for me to find shirts that go to my wrists. But I can wear petite shirts, just short sleeved or tank top type, shell type shirts. But I can't wear normal petite size shirts, no matter how, like long sleeved, no matter how skinny I am. It's really, really freaky body. So, and when I was younger in high school, I used to get in trouble for dress code because I would go around, I would tell the office, and the office, you'll meet some probably at my high school counselors and things. Wasn't there, they weren't my biggest fans. And I would go to them and I would say, look, if it's the same on the hanger as a dress code thing, if it measures the same, because, skirts can be 18 inches, right? And that's fine for dress code on most people, but not on Katie. And I would be like, okay, this isn't fair because I can't have to wear knee-length skirts all the time just because see, on me, my thigh is long. And my thighs, there's still, like, if I wear, like, an 18-inch skirt, there's still a good 8 inches of thigh left before my knee. It's really weird. And I don't know why I'm made that way. I thought everybody was made that way until I got to high school and started having all these battles with people. But I wasn't really, a difficult kid. But I had to go to detention with Mr. Bashal back then quite a few times because of this. And I would say to them, look, if it's okay on the dress, on the hanger, then it's okay on the woman. You can't ask women to dress differently just because their body types are different. Because I had to have a big chest back then as a B cup, but now I'm a D to double D cup, usually a C cup, whatever. I've been all the cups. And I don't have to buy special clothes to wear to school. That would be weird. My clothes are just the same clothes as everybody else buys. They just look different on me. And I'm not going to wear, this way before maxi dresses. Y'all, if you wore a long skirt to school, they thought you were weird for sure. And I have been in the mid-calf arena before in dresses because there was a period of time where they were very popular, but this is before that, okay? This is mini skirt popularity, but these weren't mini skirts I was wearing. They were just normal skirts. It's just on me, there's like a foot left of leg before you get to the rest of you, which is funny. So I would be like, look, if it's measures fine on the hanger, because even the fingertip thing, because my arms are freakishly long, so I was like, okay, I'll do the fingertip thing for you. So I would show them that my fingers go past the hem of my skirt. I mean, that my fingers match the hem of my skirt, right? But there's still a lot of leg left there. And it would just be concerning for everybody, because I would be like, I'm not trying to, these are just my clothes. Like, I buy them at the store. They have like size 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 of these clothes. They're the same clothes that everybody else wears. But when I wear them, I keep getting sent home to change, and I don't like it. So I had to start putting clothes in my trunk to change into. It's like a whole soapbox, and I won't go into it again. Because even the fingertip thing doesn't work, because my arms are freakishly long, which is funny. So, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I know somewhere out there, there's another woman that has been through this whole thing with the skirts, and they know that they ask, or dresses for your chest, oh my god, and they ask you to wear these clothes. But on me, clothes just need help. They like gap, the buttons gap, or the pants are too short. I mean, all the time. Anytime I wash, that's why I always hand wash all my clothes. They're always like, why do you hand wash your clothes? Are you afraid of the washing machine? And I'm like, no, the reason that I hand wash my clothes is because they draw up. And any amount of shrinkage will cause my pants to be high waters, or, higher than my ankle. And that's actually something that you can get sent home for in some jobs. It's crazy. It's so funny. But anyway, so remember, when people tell you that I'm difficult or whatever, I'm really not that difficult. I'm just trying to make sense, because to me, it makes sense that if it doesn't fit on the person, it shouldn't fit. If it fits on the hanger, if you look at a clothing outfit and you say, okay, that would be acceptable to wear to school, then no matter who puts on that outfit, it should be acceptable to wear to school. We have to teach our men to start controlling themselves, right? And women also, of course. So this guy, anyway, so he stole my clothes, which makes me apoplectic, like not, that means about to have a heart attack, because I have to look so hard for clothes that work. Like, I can't just buy any clothes. Sometimes I have to buy maternity dresses to get this skirt to go down long enough. And sometimes I have to buy queen size pantyhose to get the hose not to tear because of the length of it. Because AB pantyhose just does not work for me. It's not long enough. I can measure my legs, and my legs are like, if I had stayed in dancing, I would have been great, because my legs are the same measurements of a Rockettes legs, because I looked it up. They're actually a little bit longer even, which is funny. But it doesn't matter, because my struggles are my struggles. They're not anybody else's struggles. But I certainly don't need some guy coming in and stealing my stuff and taking my shoes and stuff. And he was supposed to have a professional job, so he stopped doing that. And he actually brought it back, which is funny. Some of them were staying, but he still brought it back. But because I guess he got his first paycheck and he was able to buy his own things, which let's all support him in his endeavors to be a working, functioning person in the world. But he needs to leave me the heck alone. And my concern is he doesn't seem to have the sense to not do things. So between these three guys that live here right now, my old neighbor, this guy who's related to my niece, and the myasthenia gravis guy, no offense, I hate to call him that, but the guy with special needs, I guess I'll say. I'll probably edit that out. But the guy with special needs, they just don't seem to have the ability to stop themselves. And they were getting egged on by C and M and other people that lived here in their bad behavior. I would go outside and they would literally heel after me like a dog, which is really upsetting, because I wouldn't want to follow them around. I don't know, I walk everywhere I go. It's already stressful enough. I don't really need people following me around. But you can see me. I have bright red hair. I walk down the street. I'm always wearing a yellow hat and a gray jacket. I tried to, ameliorate the situation by changing myself, because it's like not that I had to change my hair or anything, but that it's not, hard to find me. Most people recognize me when I live places pretty fast because of my voice and the way I look and stuff. They're always like, oh yeah, I know her. She's, over there, over here, wherever. But this is worse. This is like serious stalking. So I thought I would just say that because it does seem like it's changing a little bit for the new year. But there was a definite extinction burst that almost killed me and Norbert and bankrupted me almost. And there's probably going to be new stuff that starts up because I don't think they're going to be able to let it go. I don't know what kind of perks they were getting. And I don't know if they found fresh meats is my concern. Because the apartment complex at Neighbors, this one is very nice, y'all. And they have nice college kid type people living there. And I'm worried that maybe he's packed up his thing and moved over there. But time will tell. He's a known factor, hopefully, and people will pay attention. But it's like I told the judge. I was like, just because these guys may or may not be law enforcement doesn't mean that they're safe. Not all law enforcement officers are safe. And the scope of their job gives them the ability to harass people, and it's not okay. Not all law enforcement officers want to harass people or make women uncomfortable or cause them to be afraid for their safety. And they don't want to, get in their things and touch all their stuff and look at all their things and imitate their apartments and stuff. It just doesn't quite make sense. Something's fishy. So I figured he's either going for emotional disability or he's going for a golden parachute, depending on who we're talking about at this point. And it's very strange. So anyway, share my videos with your friends. Please like and subscribe because that will help a little bit. This guy is innocent until proven guilty. All these people are. And, but being careful of someone isn't a bad idea. And I hope that y'all take that under advisement. Thanks so much.